Hello, welcome to BU 302, Leadership and Organizational Behavior, Week 6, Lecture 3. We ended Lecture 2 with a discussion on bounded or routine decision making. Before going on with Lecture 3, it must be said that decision making can be accomplished by an individual, which is a manager or leader, or a group of individuals, which are members of a self-directed team. A self-directed team, you might want to compare that to a team that is empowered to make decisions relating to their assigned tasks. A manager or leader must decide if decisions will be made solely by him or her, or if subordinates will have an opportunity to participate in making decisions that affect the future of their organization or department. So let's begin the discussion of leadership and management. Leadership is an important part of managing people, but it is not the same thing as management. Management is concerned with planning, organizing, directing, and controlling human and other resources needed to operate the business. Management is more administrative than leadership. It follows a distinct path and mostly sticks to the established plan. Management is generally task-oriented. Now, a leader focuses on the mission while inspiring others, who are the followers, to willingly do what is asked of them. Leaders are more people-oriented, persuading and motivating subordinates into action or to change. Leaders are visionary, passionate, creative, flexible, inspiring, independent, and courageous. Managers, meanwhile, are considered to be rational, persistent problem solvers. They're generally analytical, they're structured, deliberate, authoritative, and they could be described as stable. Researcher Warren Bennis is credited with stating that leaders do the right thing by their followers, while managers are said to do things right. Remember, following the structured path. In other words, leaders tend to be more flexible in response to a situation than managers, who hesitate deviating from the plan. There are three basic leadership styles that leaders possess. The autocratic style is the style where the leader makes the majority of the decisions alone. A democratic style is a leader who encourages subordinates to make or share in the decision making. And then we have a laissez-faire leader, who is the kind of leader who is not very involved in what subordinates do. This leader tends to take the standoffish approach. It gives the subordinate a lot of freedom, sometimes so much freedom that subordinates don't have any real direction. To be effective, leaders must possess many different traits. A few of these traits are listed. We have cognitive skills, which are the knowledge and mental ability to solve problems using their imagination, creativity, and a willingness to experiment. And then we have self-awareness, where leaders are involved in gathering feedback about themselves to improve their own effectiveness, being aware of who they are. Their self-confidence, having a surety about themselves and their abilities. Being trustworthy, where followers are able to go to that leader and to know that the leader will not cause them unnecessary harm, that they can confide in that leader. And they must have integrity. This is a leader who cares about, has some kind of moral values, some integrity about himself or herself. And then we have emotional intelligence, where we talked about earlier, where the leader has the skill, is able to manage and control his or her own emotions while recognizing the emotions of others. There are different approaches to understanding leadership. Many researchers, experts in the field of leadership, have gone and done much research to try to figure out how leaders lead, the followers' role in how the leaders lead. And then first we have Blake and Mouton's managerial grid. As you can see here, this grid is a way to classify leadership styles within the context of concern for production and concern for people. Each exists on a varying degree of a continuum. As you can see, 1 to 9, where 9-9 team management is considered the optimal or the best style of leadership. Then we have the Ohio State studies, which were conducted in the 1940s, and focused on two leadership dimensions: initiating structure and consideration. Initiating structure is the degree to which the leader creates structure for the group, such as giving them specific tasks, procedures, scheduling work, and creating work expectations. This is a production or task-oriented dimension. In the Ohio State studies, it was determined that supervisors had an initiating structure had high performance groups and were rated highly by those groups. Consideration is the degree to which leaders provide emotional support, warmth, friendliness, concern for others, and trust. This is a relationship-oriented dimension, which in the Ohio State studies was determined that there was less turnover for supervisors that were higher in consideration. Now, we have the leader-member exchange, or the LMX model. This suggests that leaders form relationships with different groups of people known as the in-groups and out-groups. Now, the in-groups receive awards, responsibility, trust, and good assignments. They have values and attitudes that are similar to the leaders. They interact with the leader frequently. Meanwhile, the out-group is managed according to the rules of the department or the rules of the group. The contingency theory of leadership says that leadership style depends on the factors that relate to the group and the situation, and is known as doing the right things at the right time. Then next we have House's Path Goal Theory, which focuses on what leaders can do to increase morale and productivity in a situation. It involves helping employees find the right path to their goal. Effective leaders motivate followers by identifying the outcomes that they want to obtain, by rewarding high performance, by clarifying paths leading to achieving the goal. In Lecture 6, we learned that communication is the link that ensures managers are equipped to make fair and informed decisions while practicing a leadership style specific to the situation. As you learned in an earlier lecture, power influences subordinates to act, because without power, a leader cannot lead. You may find this information important to you because, as we stated in this series of lectures, we all have had leaders. We have all had leaders that we consider positive leaders. We've also had leaders that are considered negative leaders. And you have to decide from a personal standpoint which best suits you. I'm curious, what kind of leader are you? This concludes Week 6 lecture series. Please continue with Week 7.